I think that President Trump supports all lives. I think that he looks at all American citizens as equal. I don't see him doing anything that would make you feel like he does not support Black lives. That's of course going to lead into the conversation of Black Lives Matter, which was a movement and an organization with so much corruption. Donald Trump not supporting that organization doesn't mean that he doesn't support Black lives. It just means that he doesn't support the fraudulent organization that's stealing so much money from so many people to do absolutely nothing with it, nor does he support a destructive movement that is destroying cities, communities, lives, etc. So I don't see why someone would think that President Trump doesn't support Black lives.
I've heard him say he knows all the best Black people, he has all the best Black friends. I do support Black people all the time. So, sorry, that was a very bad impression, but I don't...
Some of his best friends are Jewish. That's not funny.
I don't think Donald Trump wants bad things to happen to Black people. So in that respect, I think he does support Black lives, but the other side of that is he's not really doing anything. He didn't do anything as president, certainly, to uplift Black people.
Oh, no. There was like 1 or 2 times where he like donated a bunch of money to some Black colleges and stuff, and I'm like, bruh, shit tripping for real. He's so charitable. He's a nice guy. I don't think he's ever molested a woman in his life. There's no way he donated to a Black college. Let's go. So this means that Trump is not racist. He is a brother, and I will dab him up and throw Crip gang signs all day with him, you feel me?
Okay, I did say I agree, but I agree in the sense that Donald Trump doesn't literally want bad things to happen to Black people, like I think a lot of conservatives do. So I think that he just says the most yeah, I do think that. I think he says the things that will get him elected. So I don't think that he has any personal grudges against most people. He just says the most popular thing. So I think like Ron DeSantis would be, yeah. Ron DeSantis would be somebody.
You think Donald Trump says the most popular thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's actually a good. That's a bold claim. The reason why Trump is so popular is because he doesn't say the most popular thing. There's a lot of things he said throughout the years that even fellow Republicans never agreed with. I would even go as far to say that Trump isn't even a Republican at this point. He's a bloody independent or whatever. He just uses the Republican Party as leverage to get into office in the first place and, have his big old speeches and get into elections, all that stuff. And then once he gets elected, he's gonna do his own thing. He's gonna be a savage little celebrity, and that's why he's so epic and funny, okay? He's not a very traditional politician. You see, some people ask me, what's your favorite president? And I look back through all of the years. I look back a few years ago, and I'm like, yeah, Trump's my favorite president. He's very funny. But I can't say that because I'll be beaten to a pulp in the middle of the history class, okay? And so I just go back and I'm like, I don't know, Theodore Roosevelt, he's pretty cool, I guess. But yes, Trump is my favorite president ever because he's just built different. He looks like Pepe, and that's very base. He says things that people need to say, and that's what I'm doing on my unbloody YouTube. I'm saying things that nobody else wants to say, and so I'm trying to do the world a favor by putting out these ideas because it's not circulating enough, in my opinion, okay? But yeah, if there's one president that never tries to virtue to like any specific people, at least not that often, then it's bloody Trump. He does not try to say the popular thing for leverage and, making himself look good, okay? He does the exact opposite so that we can get these new ideas out there and there's the new productivity and all that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Let's continue.
I'm trying to see the logic in this. Obviously, he says things to be elected as a politician very similarly to how Joe Biden did, except Joe Biden actually has a history of racism.
If he said things
that's true. There's some clips out there of Mr. Biden saying the F slur, and I think he said the N-word sometimes, and all of that stuff. Like, this dude, he's so based and red-pilled, but then as he got older, he's just decrepit, and he's just a puppet, and people just moving him around. People think he's alive, but he's actually not. But in reality, he has the biggest history of hating people that suck each other off and hating people that dance and make rap music, okay? Trump ain't got none of that. The worst thing you could rat him out on is him trying to close the borders and not let Mexicans get in here illegally. Like,
I supported Trump because he made the economy good, and so the economy then impacted Black people, white people, Latino people. It impacted everybody. But Trump he didn't think specifically, I don't think, about black people. He thought about himself, and he thought about how can I make America great for me, and making and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go with this guy, and the reason I'm gonna go with this guy is because if he can make America great and he can make that it rise for everybody, I'm gonna benefit from that. So that's why I went, and that's why I voted for him. That's why I supported him.
It was such good times when we had Mr. Trump in office. The gas prices were so low, like what was it, $2.50 where I live? I don't know. And now it's just double the price all the time. And Biden's like, oh, I brought inflation down 30%. You're the one that probably caused the inflation in the first place. But he can blame the inflation on Ukraine and Russia all he wants. We know him laying off all of those oil workers in the US and making us oil sufficient was the worst thing ever, because we started buying oil from Russia again, and Hillary Clinton sold a third of our uranium to Russia as well at some point. And guess what happened right after? The invasion on Ukraine. The point is, it is Biden's fault that the Ukraine invasion is going on right now. That is my conspiracy theory. And you can make fun of me all you want. You can talk about it on CNN or whatever. These people are not human, okay? Because now that we're buying oil from Russia again, they were able to get all the money that they needed to cause that invasion, and they got their uranium and stuff from Hillary Clinton. And oh my goodness, if my ninja Trump was still in office, this would have never happened. We would have the best gas prices in the entire universe, and we would have all of the uranium. Nukes would be extinct. There would be no war, and we would have all of the wheat ever in Europe, and McDonald's burgers would still taste good, and the buns would still be fluffy. I need more engagement on this video, so if there's anything you want to disprove with research and facts and logic, then go ahead and comment down below.
Again, he's a businessman, but he's also a racist businessman, and like well documented so. So
he's
like
orange.
And Biden's not. Biden's not.
Yes, he is. He created the crime bill. So that's regardless of the
Well,
point.
address the Central Park 5. That's what you brought up, right?
Have any of you noticed that all of the white liberals in this video, they're bloody autistic as thick. Okay, and then all the black people, they're like the most intelligent, divine beings. Like, Chandler, the things I would do to pleasure you. The unspeakable desire.
The only path forward to solving illegal immigration starts with amnesty for everybody here. The reality is there's some 10 to 15 million illegal immigrants here. We're not deporting them all.
With the people who are already here, that's a lot more of a messy, nuanced conversation. But as far as people coming in, I do think we need stronger borders and actual vetting happening.
It's such a shame that Biden had to stop the construction of the bloody southern border wall, because there's just so many bloody illegal immigrants here, and it's this is one of the many things that just astonishes me of how we have not come onto a middle ground about this whole thing here. Crossing a border into a country is illegal, okay? All of a sudden, we're just deciding that it shouldn't be illegal when you're bloody poverish Mexican, okay? If you go from South Korea to North Korea, you cross the border illegally, what do you think's gonna happen? You gonna get shot. When you would cross the border from Mexico to the US, you would be arrested and all that stuff, you feel me? And now we're trying to make it to where you can just cross the border with whatever so you can get the American benefits. But what that has opened the doors to is the bloody drug traffickers, the human traffickers, the bloody rapists. And so we're opening the borders to the most diverse crowd. We got the families that are suffering, whatever. You got the people trafficking illegal stuff and making the country worse. This is why there's so many homeless people in LA all of a sudden, because now they're getting more access to fentanyl. And recently, they started combining animal tranquilizer chemicals with fentanyl, and you could shoot that up your arm, and it gives you the craziest high. It's the new trend. I think it's popular on the East Coast. I don't know if it's made it to the West yet, but either way, the West has fallen. You might as well be giving out free crack pipes to all of the homeless people and the people that would be homeless if they start slacking off on work and missing their rent and then finally getting kicked out and stuff. because that would be just as bad as what we're doing right now, leaving the borders open. We are being invaded. And we have been invaded so much that Arizona is all of a sudden a blue state. It was always so conservative, and then all of a sudden, you know, you can probably count all the fake votes and stuff, the votes that were made up during the 2020 election, but all of the illegal immigrants that probably voted as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is just picking me off so much. I'm just rambling now, so let's just continue.
Yeah, America's unique because we have bent over backwards for decades now, putting minorities in a position of privilege. I feel like we have done so much to give back to the communities that were obviously wronged. And I agree with both of you. Like, had this happened a long time ago, I would understand it. If we had specific incidences that we could trace where people were just completely screwed over, I would respect it. But right now, I don't deserve a payment for something my great-great-great-great-grandparents went through. And I don't think that white people are responsible for paying that to me either.
This is another thing I talked about in my Proud Family video. Why do you deserve bloody money that was earned by your bloody great-great-great-grandparents? Poopy just don't make sense. You didn't work for that money. You're not the one that was enslaved. None of us were alive when people were being enslaved. It was all in the past, and so why are we making a big fuss about it now and trying to get money out of something that you didn't even experience yourself? It's the Poopy so cringe.
If the primary issue in black culture or with black people is generational trauma, then maybe they need more therapy than they need money, honestly.
Which conservatives are also against.
I think generational trauma is stupid. Like, you're gonna look at like a bloody gas chamber, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, wait, my ancestors were gassed in the Holocaust. I'm not the one with gassed ancestors. I'm not the one with enslaved ancestors. I don't have that same level of quote-unquote generational trauma. So in my opinion, I think generational trauma is so stupid. When you're not the one that was personally affected by it, it was your ancestors. So when you get reminded of that stuff that they went through, you feel bad for them, but you didn't see it for yourself. Okay, now when I take psychology in college and stuff and I get my degree in it, I will probably learn all about this stuff. Maybe, probably not, but you know. But for right now, I think it's stupid. If you don't think it's stupid, tell me why in the comments below. I really want to know because I don't get it, okay?
I have a savior complex as an older brother, and I will save you whether you like it or not. So that's just me.
Well, it's definitely not, because a lot of us are really just exhausted of being viewed as our skin color. Because when you have this mindset that you need to save black people and we're just sitting here minding our own business and living our lives the way we want to, I don't know why it is that people feel this immense pressure to be so apologetic and just always trying to cater and coddle to black people when we just want to be treated like everybody else. We're equal for a reason.
I think especially recently with a lot of riot stuff that's gone on or protest stuff that's gone on, people on the left tend to infantilize a lot of different types of protesters, and especially even talking to, you know, some of the other black content creators I do content with, when you hear a lot of progressives come out and say, well, they don't have a choice but to riot or break into this store, or, well, they're stealing, you know, these electronics or shoes for good reasons, you just don't realize it. I think a lot of people kind of look both ways, and it's a little bit weird that there's such a complex on the left to excuse like every single possible negative behavior from somebody as long as they're a skin color that you're kind of in charge of protecting.
I find that very offensive.
Yeah.
I find it
really
extremely, it upsets me to hear that, because we're just like you. We just have a different skin color, and to hear that you have to help me is offensive to me. I can do it on my own.
We all need to learn self-sufficiency. We don't need to rely on other people. You're not gonna be that bum that just vapes all the time and you don't want to get a job. You ain't got nothing on your resume. You only gonna get to McDonald's and nowhere else. You don't want to be that guy, okay? But if I'm going to get a job soon after I graduate high school, the first place I'm going to go is McDonald's, just so I can see what it's like. Because I want to see what it's like to be that guy. And then I'm going to rise up to Best Buy and PetSmart, Petco, and then I'm going to be an animal control officer, either that or an animal caretaker, animal control person, all that stuff. I'm going to be an animal person, and I'm going to pay my reparations to animals. How about that? And on the side, I'm gonna go on Fiverr and I'm gonna edit videos for other people. And we're gonna make so much money, and I'm gonna get paid for not only my talent, but my knowledge on animals and stuff. And my talent being a video editor and stuff. And then my knowledge on animals, how much I know about kitty cats, and the little bit of knowledge I know about dogs now because I was shadowing a dog trainer. All that stuff. We're gonna be so self-sufficient. I'm gonna be the most productive white savior in the entire universe. And black people ain't gonna get a penny of my wealth. Those pennies go to your pit bulls. I guess that concludes it for today's video. That was really, really good. Thank you, Owen, for your suggestion of reacting to a Jubilee video. Sub to the second channel, follow the Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and join the Discord server. Follow all the social media. Bye-bye.